He was born in 100 BCE, not as a god, but as a man from a moderately noble family, the gens Julia, claiming descent from Venus herself. Yet Julius Caesar was no distant myth. He was a brilliant tactician, a cunning politician, and a man of ambition so vast it redefined the Roman world forever. From surviving political exile and crossing enemy lines during civil war, to declaring himself dictator for life, Caesar wasn't just a product of Rome's republic. He was its turning point. But behind the laurel wreaths and legends lies a deeper question: what drives a man to challenge the world order? And what warning does his fall, on the Ides of March, offer for our own time? In an age of rising populism, fractured governments, and charisma-driven power, Caesar feels less like ancient history and more like a mirror. Let's unravel the man behind the myth, and discover how the story of Julius Caesar still shapes the way we think about power, betrayal, and legacy today. If you enjoy thought-provoking content that connects the past to the present, be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment below to support this community of ancient-minded thinkers. Gaius Julius Caesar was born in 100 BCE into the Julii, an ancient patrician family that claimed descent from Venus through Aeneas, the mythical Trojan hero. But despite that celestial heritage, Caesar's early life was anything but glamorous. Rome was unstable. Corruption festered, rival factions battled for dominance, and even noble families were vulnerable to political shifts. At 16, Caesar lost his father. Soon after, he defied the dictator Sulla by refusing to divorce his wife, Cornelia, an act of political defiance that nearly cost him his life. Exiled, hunted, stripped of inheritance, Caesar vanished from the public eye, but not from ambition. Instead, he traveled, studied rhetoric, and even got kidnapped by pirates, whom he later crucified after securing his ransom. Caesar was already becoming the man history would remember: audacious, clever, and utterly fearless. Caesar returned to Rome a sharpened force of charisma, intellect, and strategy. He quickly worked his way up the Roman political ladder, first as a lawyer, then as a military tribune, and finally into higher offices like praetor and consul. His alliance with Pompey the Great and Crassus formed the first triumvirate, a power pact that gave each man control over Rome's military, money, and laws. But Caesar outshined them all. As governor of Gaul, he led an extraordinary military campaign that expanded Roman territory to the English Channel and struck fear into the hearts of Rome's enemies. For nearly a decade, Caesar fought, conquered, and wrote. His commentary De Bello Gallico wasn't just a war record, it was political propaganda. Caesar knew the power of the pen and the sword. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon River in 49 BCE with his army, a direct violation of Roman law, he famously declared, "Alea iacta est," or the die is cast. There was no turning back. Civil war erupted. Caesar faced off against his former ally Pompey, chasing him across Europe and Egypt. In Egypt, Caesar allied with Cleopatra, helping her secure the throne and becoming her lover. Their relationship would produce a son, Caesarion, and spark controversy across Rome. After defeating Pompey's forces and consolidating power, Caesar returned to Rome not as a general, but as a dictator. Yet he didn't rule as a despot alone. He enacted sweeping reforms, adjusting the calendar, reducing debt, granting citizenship to outsiders, and reshaping the Senate. These reforms were necessary, but dangerous. His growing power frightened the Senate. In 44 BCE, Julius Caesar accepted the title Dictator Perpetuo, dictator for life. That title was the final straw. On the Ides of March, March 15th, he walked into the theatre of Pompey and was met not with cheers, but with blades. Brutus? Cassius? Friends? Senators? Over 20 conspirators stabbed him 23 times. Et tu, brute. Whether he said it or not, those words captured the ultimate betrayal. His demise plunged Rome into chaos, but his legend was sealed. So what makes Caesar immortal in history? It is not just the wars or the reforms, or even the martyrdom. It's the fact that Julius Caesar changed what power meant. He ended the Roman Republic as the world knew it. His adopted heir, Octavian, later Augustus, became Rome's first emperor. The month of July is named after him. He redefined leadership, strategy, and narrative control. His life was a study in charisma, vision, and risk. Shakespeare later made him a symbol of hubris. Historians made him a subject of endless fascination. And leaders across centuries, from Napoleon to modern politicians, have invoked his name. Julius Caesar's story is not just about the past, it's a warning and a reflection. In a world of increasing polarization, cults of personality, and shifting power dynamics, Caesar's rise and fall feel hauntingly familiar. His ability to mobilize people, use media, bypass institutions, and position himself as a man of the people while consolidating power, these are patterns we still see. Are we ever truly immune to history repeating itself? Caesar forces us to ask, at what cost do we trade freedom for stability? And who decides when a reformer becomes a tyrant? Thank you for watching, fellow seekers of wisdom and truth. If Caesar taught us anything, it's that the choices we make echo long after we're gone. Stay curious, stay thoughtful, and we'll see you in the next deep dive.